Well, this is just really a introduction process, isn't it? Really, sort of a.
That's what I mean. So we only need to go first gate, don't we?
Come on up. Come on, you two. Sorry, did I disturb you for a slumber? There's a four-legged furry thing over there. I won't say what it was, although you may have guessed. And she just liked looking at him and making a noise at him. So, still in the hedges, as you can see. I reckon I've got another, I don't know, day and a half over here. So if I can knock half a day out today and get back over tomorrow, excuse me, that'll be this end of this part of the farm done and dusted. So it's actually gone a lot better than I thought it was going to. Parts of the farm didn't get trimmed at all last year. So they've been hard work, but some of it got bashed quite hard. So they've been fairly simple, just whip over and make tidy. There's been I don't know, a bit of backwards and forwards discussion with regards to this type of countryside hedge management. Somebody sent me a clip of a Channel 4 news article where a certain Mr. Fines was complaining about bashing hedges to that. Yeah, it is a shame when you've got to really bash them back, but you know what? Part of that could be an own goal. I'm only saying from a point of view. Hello. Don't see many of them around here. I can't show you. It's American. What's the troop transport plane that takes off? Begins with P. The two massive propellers. Not coming. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. A lot of the farm payments now depending on the stewardship. Basically, farmers were not allowed to trim their hedges every year. So instead of doing a little tickle tidy up every year on the hedges, just a neatening, we weren't allowed to do that. Or if we wanted to get the subsidy, we couldn't do that, because it is quite true that most fruit comes on what's called last year's wood. So the idea was to only trim hedges with a flail at the most every other year. So there was fruit, and if you could, maybe not do the whole farm, you do half the farm one year, half the farm the other. So in some ways that was a good idea, but that's all right until you get a summer and winter like we had last year, where they don't get done, and all of a sudden it's not 2 years growth you've got to cut off, which is like probably inch. It's 3 years. Anybody who uses a flail, even the big flails, if you're trying to cut off 3-year-old growth, it does, it smashes it. It does smash it, and it makes a mess. If you want to get the hedge back under control again, it does make a mess. So there's no perfect solution to this. We want the hedges. Hedges make up a massive part of our landscape. They are important for green corridors for our wildlife. They're important for food sources for our migrating birds and our native birds. They have a plethora of uses, but they have to be maintained. Now the old-fashioned way was to send Bert from the village out with his scythe and his sharpening stone, and he would go out and spend all winter just scything up the face of the hedge, which, done manually, yeah, it was fantastic, did a good job. But if you want to pay Bert or whoever the minimum agricultural wage or the minimum wage, whatever it is, to come and do that with your hedges, that's if you can find a Bert. Do you reckon you could find somebody who would go out and spend all winter doing nothing but scything up your edges today? I doubt it. So unfortunately, this is kind of the way we do things, and it does work. Is it destructive? Absolutely. People say, oh, you smash the hedge to pieces. Well, that's kind of the issue. If we were just to cut the hedge with, say, the old-fashioned reciprocating blade, you end up with an awful lot of green material on the floor, which can result in, well, punctures, animals eating stuff you don't want them to eat. That's not so bad actually, because they will just take the leaf off of it, but it makes a mess. So the flail cuts the hedge, and then basically everything you've cut off does get smashed to pieces, but most of that will fall back through the hedge onto the floor, rot down, feed the hedge. No, it's self-feeding. Others have said, oh, it makes such a ragged, nasty wound on the hedge. Well, yes, it does. It does create it. But the thing is, if after a storm, do you go out and look at the damage to your tree with the branches and stuff broken off? It's not all. God, I don't think, has ever read BS 3998. He's never heard of target pruning and stuff like that. Us humans developed and wrote BS 3998. You don't know what that is, do you? Okay, BS 3998 is a British standard that most decent arboriculturists will pretty much follow as a standard for pruning trees. Yes, there is a standard for pruning trees. There's another one for planting them, there's another one for guarding them, there's another one for this, and there's British standards for everything. Anyway, in nature, if a tree or anything loses a branch, it's not a tidy small cut, it is usually a great big tear. And trees and vegetation as a whole have learnt to deal with that. How many of you have read Alex Shigo's Code It? Compartmentalation of decay in trees? Not many, I shouldn't think. So yeah, this does smash them up. It does make a bit of a mess, but you know what? The hedges actually, if I was to cut this hedge with a straight edged tool, I actually think it would recover slower than this. The bashing seems to kickstart off a, I don't know, either defense, close off valve, whatever you want to call it, and the hedges seem to recover faster from the flail. So there are arguments for both. I mean, I'm trained in tree care, arboriculture and pruning and all that sort of stuff, and I can see arguments from both camps, but very difficult to come up with a perfect solution, because for a perfect solution we would need perfect predictable weather, perfect ground conditions, perfect machinery. Well, we ain't got it, it's not going to happen, is it? So we do what we can with what we've got. Right, I don't want to hit that. That is a steel cable stay for that pole. We won't do that. I know, I know, I know. Okay. Sorry. Right, see you in a bit. Bye. 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 me in the doghouse. Apparently, I didn't say it loud enough when I told Mrs. P I was coming back over here to carry on hedge trimming, and she's just rung me to say dinner's on the table, and I'm not there. So now apparently dinner's going in the dog. Just as well, little snack. It's mine. So, dinner is going to be some shortbread. Oh look, little sheepies. He can bite his head off. You can have his bum in a minute. I'm just knocking off a bit of blackthorn that's been creeping out into the field. This piece of hedge here, we don't really trim. The same as most of this at the side of here. This is a piece that we leave for the wildlife. So it's not like we thrash all our hedges every year. I don't think this actual piece of hedge has ever been flailed down. It might have been, well it has, it's been tickled back on the sides a few times in the past, on the lower half, but we leave the top. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. This bit of blackthorn basically runs down the side of a fairly active ditch. It did dry up for a period last year, or the year before when we had all that drought. But there's a ware course down there that basically runs all year round, so keeping cover like that on the side of a active ware course just gives a few different beasties somewhere different to hide or rest or whatever if they're travelling up and down. But blackthorn being blackthorn is creeping out into the field, and you know, it can have that bit but it can't have any more. We've given it enough. There you go. So if I take you off there, so this piece of hedge here, which goes all the way up there, you can see where it has been trimmed in the past. I don't actually know if you can hear me. So the bottom half has been trimmed. I think it was cut last year. I'm not going to do it this year. But the top part of the hedge is absolutely laden, and all the hawthorn is laden in whole So we're going to leave that for our birds. There are patches all around the farm that we won't cut. Partially because they're either too difficult to get to and it's not worth it, but there are bits where it doesn't matter if we leave them this year. There are some bits that got bashed so hard last year we can just not worry about it. Earlier I finished off trimming around the edge of what we call Pullins wood. We planted a 5-acre piece of woodland 20 years ago. I mean, it won't be long before we'll have to think about going in there and thinning some of that, but we've more or less, apart from maintaining a few little rides through there, basically left that to nature as well. So although I am bashing my edges with a flail, we do leave some up for the wildlife, you know. You know, a fair bit. Right. That's that bit done. We're leaving this, so we'll go back to the top. I'm trying to save you his bum again, right? once I finish this bit hedge, I think that is this side of the farm more or less completed. I will make a start, I expect, on the other side. Half a tank of fuel, got plenty of fuel to keep me going for a few more hours yet. I do need to sometime make a bit of time to go look at some more tree work. We've got a couple of churches that require some assistance. Long-standing customers, we've been looking after them for years. I've got a funny feeling one of them is going to have to finally bite the bullet. They got some well, quite large lime trees in the car park. They're infected with Kretschmeria, and I think it's probably going to be either total removal, or maybe we'll look at a pollard. I mean, they were reduced years ago. We reduced them 5-6 years ago for other issues. There was the very beginnings of signs of decay, but it's now advancing to the point where it's probably going to become unsafe, and they got to make a choice of reduce or remove. So we'll give them the choice. We'll give them all the information to make the best choice for them. Long term, best choice is remove them and replant. Short term, and depending on what budgets, maybe they'll go on the pollard. Because there's no room to replant new trees until the old ones are gone, because they'll have no car park left. So we'll see. Right, I am going to tickle the side of this, but gingerly, because there's a little wire in here and it's not that tight and it's not that far in, and I don't want to pick it up. He thinks Mr. Lorry Driver's gone the wrong way. You coming out then? Come on. Right, so rain stopped to play earlier. We were doing quite well with the hedge, and in fact I've got everything I wanted to get completed done. You come in? Come on in. Yeah, it started to rain and I decided, you know what, I knew I was going to have to go back over for another day. Come on in, come on. I knew I was going to have to go back over for another day, so I thought, well, I might as well make a day of it. So that's the plan. Hopefully, if everything goes to plan, we'll go back over to the farm tomorrow, and I will finish all the hedge trimming over there. I rang our local agricultural mechanic, engineer, what you want to call him, and I basically told him that I got a, mind yourself, got a leak. Come on. A leak on my water system, which I think is the water pump gasket. Maybe just the gasket, maybe wants the whole water pump. But I've also said that, you know, while he's at it, we might as well give the tractor a service. I'm pretty sure he's about due a service, so that might be something come up. If Neil doesn't mind me getting involved with going through that, then yeah, we'll go through servicing the case. So I just had one of Mrs. P's apple pies, cold, which was very nice. There's a little one. It was very nice, but just got caught. So I'm wandering down now just to look at some sheep. Partially because I have to look at them every day anyway, but also I can't believe how many of you think I've put number 11 in a freezer box. I haven't. I promise you. Number 11 is over there. We'll go and have a look. We can't get too close because of course we've got everybody with us. Come on. I thought I might as well exercise the pups a bit while I'm here. So number 11 is out there with our remaining little weather ram lamb and the ram. So the group of 3 there, the big chap on the right hand side is our new ram, which will be going out to the ewes in about a week. Number 11 is on the left, standing in front of the ram lamb. Number 11, aka Timothy, Tim, whatever his name is. So no, number 11 is not going to the butchers. I have no plans to send him to the butchers. I've got no plans to send him anywhere. I've kind of bowed to some of you lot's opinions that he should stay here, and unless I can find somewhere better for him to go, for the time being at least, that's what's going to happen. He's going to stay here. He will stay with the flock. He will be company for the ram, because obviously there will be times when the ram cannot go with the girls. So he's going to stay here just literally as a woolly lawnmower and company. So you will have to bear in mind that he is not a strong fellow. He is quite a weak little chap, but you know, while he's happy and while he's healthy and alive, he can stay put. Right, okay, I've already counted them with the telescope earlier, but I couldn't really show you him unless I came down. So there you are, number 11 is still here. Okay, right then. What are you... Oh, you eating what's name again, aren't you? Pepper, come on. So, all the dogs seem to be getting on very well. Pickle has mixed in quite nicely. It started off with Pepper being a little bit of a bully, but she's learnt to hold her own now. She was a little bit submissive when she first began, but she's now sort of starting to hold her own a little bit. Yeah, everybody's happy. At night, when I go to bed, I look in the porch and they're all curled up together. So last night both pups were with Gypsy, and this morning there was one with Gypsy and one with Muppet. And then this afternoon they were both with Muppet. So the big dogs are quite happy to have the pups along. Oh, that was timed just about right, wasn't it? So that looks all right anyway. So yeah, everybody's happy, it appears. Come on up. Well, potentially we could have a nice sunset tonight. It's kind of leaning that way. These brambles shut up now. He's not happy. I've been feeding the rest of the cows up near the shed to get them used to coming up, and obviously at least one of the heifers there is bulling because he's been singing. Mind you, she's probably been waving her back end up at the gate at him, so poor devil. It's just there, really, just can't reach it. Right, you lot, you go to bed, I reckon. Wind has been blowing chairs everywhere again, as usual. Did I leave the lid open? Bugger. Okay. Nothing's wet. Well, that's it. Monday's almost done. We hopefully will be drilling our wheat in the next, well, it was supposed to be this week, but it's too wet. So maybe next week we can get stuck into that. I have still got some muck to get out. I've got to sort these barns out before the cattle come in because they haven't been done since last year, and the bull and TB and everything else. I mean, we've got another 8 days for TB tests, so I'm kind of hoping we can get TB over and done with, maybe get him moved. Still don't know even after this test if I can or not, but I'm hoping we can get these sheds cleaned out, get everything disinfected, washed down, dried, rebedded. That's what we want to do. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. TB has really messed us about this year. What can you do? Come on, yeah, rabbits that was. Naughty bunnies. Come on. Psst, psst. Come on. Psst. Wait, Pepper. Come on. Anytime today. Thank you. I'll keep the field fares. And then Red Wings. Busy for a few days. Puppies have got a new den. They've made a hole in there, in my red hot pokers, and they've been in there playing Tarzan. Temper.